What's going on, everybody? I'm Caleb Ochoa, also known as NFL Caleb 22, and this is Betting the NFL Wild Card Weekend, and we got the wild card games to go over this week. Um, we're getting down to it. Not so many weeks left to bet, but I'll be here every single week giving you my five best bets of the week. Well, it'll get lower as there's less and less games. There are 6 games on this weekend, only five, but I will give you the five best bets to make for those games. Um, and then yeah, I'll be doing it every week. It's not so many opportunities, but still there, still chances to make some money, and that's exactly what we will do uh, right on this show. But before we can do that, if you guys can go ahead and hit the like button, uh, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you really want to help us out, you can join our Patreon. The link is in the description down below. Let's go ahead and do all that. We very much appreciate it, and we very much appreciate you for all for watching. But let's get right into it. I'm gonna get right into my bets right away, and I'll start off with the first one of this playoff weekend, and that will be the Rams are playing at the Panthers. Panthers are getting 10.5 points. This is the craziest line of the weekend. I mean, this is a huge point spread. Um, and it's a double-digit point spread to a team that's a division winner, although a weak division, that is at home. Um, and for Panthers team, they obviously lost the last 2 games, but the Rams lost these types of games before. They lost a game to the Falcons on Monday night, and they also lost against this exact same Panthers team um, earlier in the season. That is a game where Bryce Young threw for 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, and it was and he threw for 3 touchdowns, and it wasn't a big upset victory. When the Rams were pretty hot during that time, and so they've kind of lost these weird games, and I think they're very vulnerable to have this type of loss. I don't expect them to lose though. I'm not I'm not that crazy to pick the Panthers outright, but I'm gonna take 10.5 points if you're gonna give it to me. Um, the Rams lost that game against the Panthers. They did it by turning the ball over, and when they've had multiple turnovers in the game, in a game, they're 0-3 straight up in those games. And this doesn't, like I said, does mean I like them to straight up, but I do like them. I do like the Panthers to keep pace, even though with all the Rams, many weapons that they have on offense. I do think the Panthers can, if they can, get some turnovers like they did in the first game, they can go ahead and keep pace with them and cover that 10.5 point spread. Panthers are 10-4 against the spread in their last 14 games at home. So they're a good covering team at home. That's why I like them to cover this spread. But that is Panthers plus 10.5. All right. Getting to the second bet of the week. And I got the Packers minus 1.5 at the Bears. Panthers laying a 1.5. Depends on what book you're looking at, what point spread you're looking at. What's up, Jay? What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. But Bears have been at the line has shifted. Bears have been a favorite recently. I've seen that on some lines, but I'm gonna take the Packers at the favorite. When I first saw this, I was this line. I wanted to jump all over the Bears getting a point. But then I thought differently. Because it was like, why would the Bears be favored? Because the Bears have a better record. They're the division winner. They um they split with them with the Packers, and and they're playing at home. So by all factors, they should be the ones favored. They're not. The Vegas seems to think that the Packers have the edge, and they're the ones that are favored, which throws me off. And with these type of games, and when I look at those type of lines and figure out, well, why is everything saying that the Bears should be favored, but the Packers on the road are favored. So I mean, obviously Vegas has some thinking differently, and when it's that weird of a line, I like to go opposite of what I think and go with um go the opposite way, and that's why I'm laying the points with the Packers. The Packers defense, might be hurting a little bit, but the Bears defense is hurting a lot worse because they're pretty bad. They do cover up a lot of their mistakes with some turnovers, but as long as Jordan Love does not turn over the ball, as long as he takes care of that football, I think they're going to go in and they'll beat the Bears. I mean, the Bears needed a onside kick um, to go into overtime to win that last game against the Packers. I don't see that happening again. They're not going to get another miracle. The Packers should have swept them. They didn't because of a miracle onside kick. So in this case, I think I figured that is why the Packers are favoring this one, and that's why I will be laying the points. Packers minus 1.5. All right, for the third game, I got the Bills -1 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have the exact opposite feeling with this game as I did with that Bears Packers game. Because it's the same situation. Why are the Jaguars not favored? They're the ones that are home. They're the ones that are the division winner. They're the ones who have the better record. They're the ones that were on 8-game win streak. By all factors, they should be the ones that favor. But unlike the last one where I really didn't know why, I know exactly why the Bills are favored. That's because Josh Allen. Josh Allen can carry this team to a victory, as he's done all season and as he's done through most of his career. And even though he's kind of reverted a little bit back to his little recklessness, he's taking a little more sacks than usual. But you know, when it comes down to it, and he needs to win the game, he makes the plays. But the Bills having but the biggest factor and the biggest difference is the Bills having a running game with James Cook, who leads league in rushing. That's going to be crucial, especially going on the road. That's a biggest factor there. Playoff experience also matters. Josh Allen has much more of it than Trevor Lawrence. We'll see what Jay says. You mean James Cook will lead the Bills? I just messaged that. I think he's the crucial factor in this game. Um, that's why it will help Josh Allen's play. Ain't too much. I don't believe so. I think he will this team the victory along with major help from James Cook helping him out. Um, but yeah, without Burrow, without Jackson, without Mahomes, the Bills need to win this game to to save face. I mean, they have to make a run this playoffs, and that is why I just cannot see them going out in the first round against the Jaguars, and I have to pick them. So that's why I will be taking them -1. All right. For the fourth game, I got the 49ers +4.5 at the Eagles. Um, yeah, if you're gonna give me 4.5 points against an offense that um has halves of games where they don't score a damn point, where they are one of the worst teams at going three and out, and honestly don't even look like a functioning offense. Yeah, I'm gonna take the points on that one. Um, this really comes down to Kyle Shanahan's offense versus Vic Fangio's defense. That's what's been winning the Eagles games is because they keep other teams from scoring points with their defense because they can't really score a lot themselves. Jalen Hurts has been struggling throwing the ball at times, and don't really have the same running game that they did last year with Saquon Barkley. Um, so yeah, it really comes down to Shanahan versus Fangio, and I like Shanahan to win that advantage. because Purdy's been pretty good. I mean, he's been really good. Last 4 games, he's been very accurate. Has a high completion percentage. And the 49ers can get really explosive plays out of Christian McCaffrey, and I do expect them to do so in this one. And then the Eagles have put up less than 20 points in 8 games this year. So how can you trust a team like that covering a 4.5 point spread? That doesn't seem very likely to me, and that's why I like the 49ers. And Eagles are just 500, 4-4 against the spread at home. Then 49ers are 7-2 against the spread on the road and 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 games. All roads point to the Niners covering that 4.5 on the road against the Eagles. All right. We got our final bet of the weekend, and that will be the Chargers at the Patriots. Patriots are laying 3.5. I'm going to lay the points with them. The injuries to the offensive line for the Chargers have really taken a toll. On Justin Herbert, he's had an injury. He's been taking a lot of sacks. It's been affecting their offensive production. They've been winning a lot of games with their defense, but that defense is going to have to go up against Drake May. He's played like an MVP candidate. I think he has talent to really, really shred this defense, even though they have been playing well. Patriots have, obviously been criticized because they haven't played nobody. Um, and been being very many good teams. That's nothing but good teams left in the playoffs, so they're definitely going to have to prove that they can, and I do think they will. I think they will prove that. And there's always the West Coast to East Coast um, factor in all this. I always like to bet on the East Coast team because what that West Coast traveling across country. Um, that's a big disadvantage, and I think it will play a part in this one. Say what's up to my dad, and that's why I like the Patriots laying the points here. Chargers just 3-5 against the spread on the road. Not a good covering road team. And Patriots 4-1 last 5 games against the spread. They've been doing well covering. I like the Patriots, so take the Patriots. And that is my 5 best bets of Wild Card Weekend. And that will be the show. Safe betting out there. Only bet what you can afford to lose. And you can find me at NFLKO22 on Instagram, Twitter, /X. And we'll be here next week. We'll give you the division round picks, our best plays of the divisional round, and we'll be taking all the way up to Super Bowl weekend. Tune in for that. If you like making money, and like I always say, let's get ready to make that money.